So next on the agenda is the superintendent's report, so I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Ross.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board, members of our community. Certainly excited about these great celebrations to represent the entire state of South Carolina. Ms. Harris, we're certainly proud of her, our football teams, all of the celebrations that are going on, our winter holiday festivals, and our FFA for these beautiful poinsettia. I asked, how do we keep it alive? They said, don't water it too much and don't underwater it. So whatever that sweet spot is, I look forward to this lasting this festive season. In terms of our superintendent's report, I'll jump right in. As we talk about us as a system, my leadership is built on three critical questions that we're answering, and that is our why are we here, how do we accomplish our why, and then what do we create? And that is driven by our vision, mission, and outcomes. Our vision is that we love and we grow our students. Our mission is that we are focused on learning and making sure that we provide a challenging curriculum for all of our students. And then what are our outcomes? Our outcomes are based on love and grow, that we ensure that every student feels that they're loved in our schools and that every student has demonstrated academic growth in our schools. And we use our strategic plan as our roadmap. That is the way that we deliver our outcomes through those four goals. I want to stay focused on growth and development. I think as we look at the work that we do throughout the district, we want to have a scoreboard. You know, you watch that game with Dutch Fork and Fort Dorchester. We saw that throughout the game, you can look at the scoreboard to see what the status of the game was. And we need to do that in our work towards the strategic plan. So if I can get that presentation up, we can show actually our scoreboard. But we want to be focused on growth in the areas of literacy and numeracy. We look at our elementary and middle school measures of academic progress through MAP. We can see between 50 and 65% of our students are not on grade level, and we are working diligently every single day to change that reality. That is the scoreboard in terms of literacy and numeracy within our district. But you will see the amazing work of our teachers as they drive the amount of students who are not on grade level to on grade level. That's the mission work. That's the amazing work in which our students and our teachers are doing each and every day. We're also focused on growth in our graduation rate, which is a huge part of our strategic plan. And we track this on a weekly schedule. And you can see as we look at our target of 90% of a graduation rate, at the last account of that, we were about 88%. So we're seeing some increases there. So we're really excited about that. But we want to keep going until we're over and above our district target. If you can go to the next slide, please. Okay. It's not. All right, if you can go to the next slide, please, you can see that our CCR rate, this is also a huge part of our strategic plan, and that is the amount of students that we have that are either college or career ready. And right now, Madam Chair, members of the board, we're going to track this quarterly. At this point of the year, 549 students are not either college or career ready. So this is our scoreboard, looking at turning the amount of students that are off level back to on level, the amount of students who are on track to graduate within 4 years of entering their ninth grade year in high school, above 90%, and the amount of students that are leaving, graduating college and career ready. So we wanted to commit to do an academic report. You're used to our financial reports and of our fiscal situation. We want to do an academic report of the academic health of our school district. So I want to turn that over to Ms. Anna Miller, who is our Chief of Academics and Administration, to do the academic report.
And Madam Chair, School Board, good to see you all tonight, and we are proud to bring to you tonight. We've been having discussions with Midlands Technical College for about a year, and so looking at expanding some opportunities for our students that will also benefit the district with our college and career readiness scores. So I've asked tonight our Director of Secondary, who has been the lead on this initiative, to present some brief information for you tonight, and we're looking forward to starting this next school year. Ms. Nashunda Walters, I don't even know if I said your name.
You did. It's
Sorry.
okay. It's all right. Good evening. Thank you, Ms. Miller. Thank you, Dr. Ross. Madam Chair and Board of Trustees, I'm here tonight to present to you a brief overview of our plans to expand dual enrollment courses availability to our high school students in District 5. That next slide. Our goals will ultimately support much of our superintendent's vision for student growth and academic achievement. And through our partnership with Midlands Technical College, we will provide high school students with the opportunity to dually enroll and receive college credit. Students following and successfully completing courses in our prescribed pathways will be provided the opportunity to graduate with an associate's or a general studies certificate, along with their high school diploma. Our high schools have an increased interest in continuing to meet or exceed the district's strategic plan goal of 78% of our students in this graduating class and future graduating classes to be college or career ready. Offering dual enrollment courses increases the opportunity for students to receive their CCR designation, specifically in the area of college readiness. That next slide. Information recorded on our 2022 South Carolina Department of Education School Report Card delineates our overall CCR outcomes for last year's senior class of 2022. Of the 45% of students in the graduation cohort who were considered college ready, 7.7%, or just 10 students, received their designation as a result of dual enrollment coursework. This initiative will help us increase the number of college ready students. That next slide. So what does it mean to receive dual credit? When students are dually enrolled in courses taken at their respective high schools and approved Midlands Technical College courses, they may earn both high school and college units of credits. 1 quality point is added to the CP weighting for dual credit courses that are applicable to baccalaureate and associate's degrees, as well as certification programs that lead to industry credentials. That next slide. And you may have heard me say dual enrollment as well as dual credit, but to clarify, dual enrollment refers to the process where students are taking college-level coursework for both high school and college credit, while dual enrollment or dual credit refers to the extra academic weighting received from the approved dual enrollment courses. At this time, I'll return the floor back over to Ms. Miller.
Thank you, Ms. Walters. And that completes our dual enrollment opportunities briefing this evening. We will be holding a parent meeting in January with Midlands Technical College, and they'll be coming out to talk with our parents. So we're happy to take any questions or move right along.
Do we have any questions before we move forward? All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to ask at this time, we're going to talk about a nice little celebration that we get to add some great advertisements to our schools, or not advertisements, but insignia to our schools. So, Ms. Miller, if you can share that with our magnet programs.
That's right. Thank you so much, Dr. Ross. You may recall earlier this year we had 3 of our magnet schools to receive the Nationally Certified Magnet Schools designation by the Magnet Schools of America. And so just as a reminder, that's because these 3 schools, it was their turn to go through a year-long rigorous process of evaluation based on the standards of excellence and the 5 pillars of magnet schools. And those are diversity, innovative curriculum and professional development, academic excellence, leadership, and family and community partnerships. And 3 of our schools, the 3 who went through that process, were all 3 recognized in that manner. And that is H.E. Corley Elementary School, Lee Part Elementary School, and Nursery Road Elementary School. So you will see on the next slide the sample of the sign to be displayed. So of course that says Magnet Schools of America and Certified National Magnet School. And then we've provided you a picture of the front of each of the buildings and then zoomed in to where we would like to place the signs. So first we have H.E. Corley Elementary School. Of course, that's the front of that school. And then where we would like to put that sign is just off to the side, but still visible at the front. And then we have Lee Part Elementary School. And the little red dot indicates right there where we would like to put the sign. And all of these are near the front of the schools, but slightly to the left or right. And then the front of Nursery Road Elementary School, and the yellow dot there indicates where we would like to put that sign. And that way they can proudly display their designations that they worked so hard for. So I'm happy to take any questions on that as well.
Okay, thank you very, very much, Ms. Miller. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Do we have any questions? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. Thank you, Ms. Walters. We certainly appreciate that update there. And now we'll move on, Madam Chair, with our financial update for the month of October. So I'll ask our CFO, Ms. Paul, to come up.
Hi, good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. Dr. Ross, thank you again for having me here tonight. As he mentioned, I will be giving the monthly report for the month ending October 31st, 2022. So if we'll move to the next slide, this will be the revenue report. So as discussed at our last meeting, our revenues are broken out into 3 main categories. The local sources year to date are very strong through October. Our local property taxes, which at this point is mostly related to vehicles just because our real estate property taxes are not yet due, is actually up 11% over the prior year. So we're excited about that, but we'll continue to monitor, especially as we go into January and February with real estate taxes. As far as state sources, again, still very strong over the prior year. We have now received our first tranche from the homestead exemption tier 3, and we will continue to receive that monthly throughout the end of the year. I did want to point out that you will start noticing that our revenues are starting to significantly exceed our expenses going forward. This is really the case through December, and this is, again, something that we plan for. This is why we have a healthy fund balance and have that cash reserve put aside so that we can make it through these tough couple of months as we move into January and before we get the real estate taxes from the local side. Next, we'll move on to the expenditures. So again, year to date, we're at $51.9 million in expenditures. This is slightly over our revenues as mentioned, but still right in line with where our budget was expected to be at this time of year. I did want to point out that we are planning to still come to you in January with a budget amendment due to our strong revenues year to date, and we will come to you at that time to reallocate some of those funds. I'll be glad to take any questions.
Do we have any questions? All right, thank you, Ms. Paul.
Thank you, Ms. Paul. And at this time, Madam Chair, members of the board and the community, I would like to present our annual report. I will spare you all of the slides of the annual report presentation, but they are available in the informational packet, and we'll be putting that out to the public in January. Our goal is to share just kind of the operational, instructional, the financial, and student health of our district, and so we're really excited about this annual report. It is kind of the state of the district position. I would like to just kind of go on record. There are 3 challenges that I end the report with in consultation with our leadership team and our schools. And on the next slide, you will see those 3 challenges. That is one, the growth in mental health issues. I think that even pre-COVID, we saw this on the rise, depression, anxiety, the issues that we were dealing with in our schools. And we see that in our students and our staff. We see increase in discipline issues that we're challenging with, and our goal is to get ahead of that to meet that particular need. We applaud this body for what it's done to invest in mental health services for our students and staff in our community. Our second challenge is the growth in students growing the number of students that are on grade level, meeting proficiency. We're seeing more and more students who are coming into our schools. And I see it clearly, Madam Chair, members of the board, when I look at a kindergarten classroom. That's where I think you see it the purest, when that kindergarten teacher has students who don't know their ABCs, their 1, 2, 3s, their colors, basic shapes. Parents have been helping us, community has been helping us when those students come in and they know those base skills. More and more we're seeing those deficits even at the kindergarten level. And so our teachers are tasked with making up 2, 3 grade levels within one academic calendar year. As that increases, the amount of supports that those teachers will need will also increase. And that's extra fuel and less gas mileage in their efforts. So we have to be prepared to support that. And last is the growth in student enrollment in Chapin schools. While we have the growing needs in the Dutch Fork and Irmo schools, I say Irmo schools because that's where Dutch Fork is located. And so we have to address these challenges. But Madam Chair, members of the board, these challenges, like all challenges, give us 3 opportunities. Wherever there's a challenge, there's an opportunity. And the next slide shows our opportunities. That the research says that we can help the classrooms. We can help these discipline issues, these mental health issues, these issues of anxiety. We can help regulation skills through research-based and evidence-supported social-emotional learning programs. We want to talk with our board and communities, with our parent advisories about how this will look in our schools. We can also talk about ways of assisting our teachers and staff with trusted adults, whether these are mentees or coaches that can help with academics, but also goal setting, making sure that every child has something that they're passionate about, something that reaches out to their hearts within our schools. We had a conversation last week, and I remember Mr. Hogan saying, the idle hands, Dr. Ross, make sure that you feel those idle hands. And I think we are responsible for making sure that we feel the idle hands of every child in our district. And I think having a trusted adult connected with each one of those students makes that different. And the last is the opportunity to create our 5-year master facilities plan that provides equity and access for all students in our district. And our board policy outlines that we are to develop a 5-year master facilities plan. It also provides that we could use consulting services for that. So we would like to bring that options back to the board for your review. One of the things as we look at the growth in Chapin, we know that right off the bat is the Chapin High School question. And I'm not going to put Dr. Harris on the spot, but we have been debating at what point does that school reach 1,700 students? Is it next year? Is it the year after? But we know within 2 years we definitely will be there. And so the question is we are working with Ms. Miller and her team to devise a schedule which between 1,720 students to see if we can float teachers or put teachers on carts, or how do we schedule that? Or do we need to look at portable buildings? We want to bring those options back to the board so that you're aware. Our concern, though, is if we need to do the portable buildings, I probably need to, Mr. Wiseman, order that yesterday. So we want to develop that because that's just one of the dominoes. There's so many considerations, as we saw with our facilities planning, that we need to consider. So we would like to engage a third-party consultant as outlined in the board policy to look at construction, to look at road changes, to look at everything, birth rates, projections for our entire district, to provide as many options back to this body to decide what would be the best 5-year master facilities plan. So each one of these challenges gives us an opportunity to get to our system outcomes, and that's the next slide. And that is that every student feels loved because they're connected with a trusted adult, and every student shows demonstrated academic growth. That's because that trusted adult is connected with their passion to maximize potential. That's our D5 story. We're very proud of it. I'm excited to be here, excited to work each and every day so that we can celebrate these amazing staff and students that we have in District 5. Madam Chair, members of the board, that concludes the superintendent's report, and I stand for any questions.
All right, do we have any questions? All right, well, seeing none, we'll move on.